So ADA has seen this drop to the downside where I've been tracking a WXY structure, and I set out the target in my previous video, sitting between 54.62 cents to 55.28 cents. And here you can see that we ended up tapping into that region where we ended up reaching 54.88 cents. And since then we have seen that move to the upside where we actually failed to retest the 50 MA. And so it will be interesting to see if this move to the downside is now complete and we get to see that move to the upside where we can then begin to track our wave Y. And in fact, if I just double check to see if we ended up tapping into this region. So this bigger region sits between 51.88 cents to 54.89 cents. And here you can actually see that we tapped into this region by 0.0001. And so technically speaking, we could have completed the wave X and we could now be within a wave Y. And so what I'll do is actually check to see if this move to the downside is complete. And so I'll go on a 5-minute chart. And it does look like this Y wave is made up of 5 waves. So what I'll do is I'll use the Fib tool. And yeah, here you can see that we made a move towards the 1.618 retracement level, which sits at 55.24 cents. And we ended up reaching this level at 54.98 cents to complete the wave 3. So if I was to draw that out, essentially what took place was this was wave 1, this was wave 2, this was wave 3, and then I'll check to see if this move is now complete, where that would then be the wave 4, and then we saw that move to the downside to complete the wave 5. So if I remove that and check to see what took place over here, where it looks like we had a corrective move that played out, made up of a WXY structure, where this is a W wave, this is the X wave, and this is the Y wave. So if I zoom in and again use the Fib tool, and so yeah, that Y wave would then reach anywhere between 55.6 cents to 55.74 cents, and we just about extended beyond the 1.226 retracement level, where we ended up reaching 55.84 cents, and following this move, we then saw this retracement to the downside to make up the X wave, and then we had that final push to the upside to make the Y wave. And so essentially what took place was this was a W wave, this was the X wave, and this was the Y wave. So once again, using the Fib tool, so yeah, here you can see that we ended up retracing towards the typical levels between 1 to 1.226, and we just about extended beyond the 1.226 retracement level. And since then, we then saw that push to the downside, where we then breached past this level at 54.98 cents, and yeah, we ended up reaching 54.88 cents, and so that could potentially be the wave 5, where that wave 5 would retrace anywhere between 1.236 to 1.618 of the wave 4. And so that wave 5 would reach anywhere between, I'm not sure if you can see this, but anywhere between 54.12 cents to 54.65 cents. And so if I was to map that out, so it'd be anywhere within this region. But you can see that we actually haven't tapped into that region. But just because we haven't tapped into that region, it doesn't necessarily mean that this move is invalid. Reason being is because we have met the minimum requirement, which is a double bottom. And that double bottom would be the wave 3, which sits at 54.98 cents. And so because we ended up breaching that level and went even lower, then it's possible that that wave 5 is now complete, and then we can see that move to the upside where we can then begin to track the wave Y. And so one thing that I'm going to be looking out for is if we see a lower low, where again it's possible that we then tap into this region. And for that to be the case, then this move to the upside will need to be complete, and then we could potentially be within that move to the downside. And as far as this move to the upside goes, that move typically retraces anywhere between 50 to 88.2% of this wave structure. And so if we continue to see high highs and ADA breach past the 88.2% retracement level, then that could confirm that the bottom is set at 54.88 cents, and we could then potentially be within the wave Y. And so if I go back to the hourly chart and delete some of this now, but I'll leave that there and I'll remove that. So yeah, if it's possible that we ended up completing this wave X, given that we've tapped into this region, and that wave will then be the 1 to 1.226 retracement of the wave W. So if I bring in the fib tool once again, so what I do now is mark the wave Y target. So that wave Y would then reach anywhere between 63.88 cents to 66.21 cents. So this will be the next target, assuming that we've completed the X wave on ADA. But it is interesting to see that we are within an overbought region. And so again, we could be in that retracement to the downside where we could go slightly deeper within this range here. But if I go in a 4-hour chart, what you can see is we are within the oversold conditions. And so again, it is possible that we had a bottom at 54.88 cents and we could see that move to the upside. And in order for us to be bullish, then we need ADA to first and foremost find support at that 50 EMA and then see that continuation to the upside. And here you can actually see that the 200 EMA sits within this range here. And so it's possible that we get rejected and then we can then see that move to the downside. And from then on, we can then begin to see what structure is actually forming. And so, yeah, that's just my update on Cardano ADA. Hopefully you found it useful. And if you did, then feel free to hit that like button. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.